Live from Ottawa, the first Monday of March is always a trip to Kingman Gym, one of the most historic and beautiful venues to play a basketball game across the state of Illinois. And tonight, and we welcome you back inside Kingman Gym, dealing with a little bit of internet difficulties as to be expected. It is absolutely packed in here, not great Wi-Fi. Obviously, there's so many people in here, but Gavin, like we were talking about, great environment here in Ottawa. Sold out crowd, not a single open seat in this entire gym.
No, there's not, and this gym is very historic for a reason. Many would consider it's the best basketball gymnasium for high school anywhere in the state of Illinois, perhaps the entire Midwest. The old walls, nearly 100-year-old Kingman Gym, really just vibrates, especially when every seat is filled.
It is going to be an absolute doozy, a trip to state on the line here in Ottawa. This one will be talked about in barbershops, in grocery stores, anywhere around town for years. Richwoods and Thornton, two very historic teams trying to get to state. Gavin, it's a little surprising that neither of them have been to state in a while. They feel like this is their year. Yeah, historically, both these teams have had great success, especially looking at Harvey Thornton. You know, they got boxed out in the 90s by Peoria Manual in their four-peat. They made it to the state Final Four 3 times, runnering up twice to Manual. So historically, both these sides have done some great things, but it's been quite a while since their last trip, and Richwoods has never won a state title. Richwoods looking to get back to state for the first time since 2010. It's also been a while for the Thornton Wildcats as well, Gavin. Just seconds here before tip-off. Again, a little late coming on in the air because of some internet troubles, but we're all good now. Glad you're with us for free live audio coverage on ClutchSportsIL.com. The matchup between Lathan Somerville and Thornton gets another big bucket. They lead 5-0. Gavin, can you catch us up on what happened here during a quick break? Hot start for the Wildcats. Yeah, 2 straight buckets as Tavy Smith drives up and in for 2. So 5-2 ball game here in Ottawa, but 2 straight buckets to start out for Harvey. It was Isaiah Green getting 2, and then a 3-pointer by LaShawn Scott. Morez Johnson, though, player to watch. 3-ball on the way from the corner is good. That was Mayo Swansea getting back-to-back 3A. Richwoods comes in number 8. Knights 28-4, Harvey Thornton 29-4, and they force a early turnover, 6:38 to go here, and Harvey starting very well. Yeah, 3 for 3 so far. Couldn't ask for a better start, and getting Richwoods a little bit off balance. They're used to fast starts, so come punch them in the mouth is Harvey. Here's Chase Abraham with it. Harvey Thornton, the home team tonight. They're wearing white uniforms with purple numbers and striping. Swansea slips and falls, picked up by Richwoods' Jared Jackson. He drives into the lane through some contact. Tough finish. Couldn't get it to go, and it's rebounded by the big fella and Illinois commit Morez Johnson. Here's Abraham with it, and we're going to get a, believe it was timeout called. Harvey Thornton's coach, Ty Streets, regardless, not very happy. We have a stoppage here. Not sure what it's about, Gavin. I don't know what you saw. I don't know. It looks like it's an official's timeout. The official patted his head as to reference an official's timeout. Oh, Nick Louderman is here in the corner, and he is writhing in pain. Looks like he came up limp with his ankle. Our vantage point here didn't even notice him in the corner as he's backed off the floor onto the baseline. Now, Louderman right below us. We are on the southeast corner here of the gym. Louderman in some pain right now. We have stoppage, 6:13 to go here in the first quarter. Again, glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Hopefully our internet will keep us afloat here for the rest of this one. Good thing, I mean, obviously, yeah, we'd love to be here with our video cameras, but I'm not sure if the bleacher sides down the both sides of the baseline. Just a fantastic gym that we love coming to. Very old school. Paper described it a few years ago as a indoor Wrigley Field. It's got the columns blocking some of the views. Very historic, and again, produces a lot of great noise. 8-2, Thornton lead. 2 triples have gotten the Wildcats off to a good start. Another turnover there by Thornton. Little had it in transition, but had it stripped away from a great play from Abraham. And here comes Swansea up the court now for the Wildcats. They come in after beating Brother Rice, a top 10 team in Class 3A. That one taken away again by Richwoods. 3 steals for the Knights. Can they convert? Here's Little kicking it back out off the fingertip of a Knight. Here's Tavy Smith, the senior, with it. Now feeds Lathan Somerville, the big fella, top of the post. Cutting Etherly, couldn't get the layup to fall.
It was contested. It was a tough shot, but Richwoods is getting a lot of steals so far, just hasn't converted.
Richwoods has been off to some great starts this postseason, Gavin. They jumped ahead of East Peoria 20-0 in the regional semifinal. Then they jumped on top of Kankakee 15-0 in the sectional semi. 3-ball on the way by Swansea is no good, and Somerville corrals the miss. See if the Knights slow things down and get their legs under them. Maybe a little bit of jitters in this one so far, Gavin. They've gotten some turnovers, haven't got anyone to go. Deep 3 from Tavy Smith, and it's off the mark. Off the rebound, it's
shooters in the Peoria area. He can get going in a hurry, and that's a big shot for the Knights.
Jaquan Little, when he gets going from 3, he's really hard to stop, as we'll get a Richwoods foul, the first one of the ball game. It's been a pretty physical game, Gavin, but one that's physical without fouling, one that you like to see at this stage of the postseason.
Yeah, and we didn't get a lot of time to talk because of our internet issues. And you expect that physicality, and it's a good physicality.
It certainly is. This one is going to get intense. It's Harvey Thornton lead 8-5. Tie on a 3-pointer. This is a team that really... Here's Tavy Smith with it. Over to Jared Jackson. Now Somerville in the paint. Wide open layup. No one around him.
Great passing right there. Richwoods able to move it around, and they're starting to get some stuff up. This is going to be a back-and-forth ball game, folks.
5-0 run for Richwoods. Has them right back to within 1. Into the game for Thornton, Malik Holton, a senior guard. This Thornton team, Yark, 3:43 to go here from Kingman Gym. Somerville drives in the paint. Advantage, Somerville.
That was a big move. It was a tough shot, but he just banked it off the glass. Sometimes you need that little extra help off the window.
On the drive here is Mayo Swansea. Floater one-handed is no good. Rebounded by Jackson. 7-0 run here for the Knights. 3 all transfers. Johnson, obviously Somerville coming in from the prep factory down in Georgia. It's Richwoods ball. Here's Somerville going in on Johnson again. The matchup everyone came to see.
Just got to back down, take your shot, don't think too much about it.
1:40 to go. Driving in, here's Abraham. Kicks it back out to the corner. 3 on the way is off the mark. Thornton, I should say, goes the game. Tavy Smith, the senior guard, who's been a long-time starter for this Knights team. 9 seniors on Richwoods. They're hoping to not play their last game here tonight in Ottawa. Jackson crosses up and lost the ball. It's rather kicked by a Wildcat. I believe it will go back to Thornton. Or no, it will stay with Richwoods, pardon.
Yeah, he tried the crossover right there, stuck the foot out. I think that was Isaiah Green. And as you mentioned, a lot of really good, deep.
Somerville trying to hand off. Now he crosses up Swansea, back to Somerville. 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Somerville crosses up Johnson, drives into the lane. There'll be 2 free throws coming by Somerville.
How huge could that be? I wonder if they'll sit the big fella down. It's going to be just for very sparing seconds as Somerville makes both free throws.
11-8 seconds to go here in the first frame from a sold-out gym in Ottawa. Mayo Swansea kicks it over to Chase Abraham for 3. It's off the mark. Somerville's long arms can't bring it in, but Jaquan Littles can. He feeds it up ahead to Heron. 26 seconds to go. Richwoods could hold for the last shot. Heron
found out until this place was renovated some years ago, the width of the court was actually about. This is not a big spin. 3 on the way is no 2. They were down. They end the quarter on a 9-0 spurt. Thornton missed, I think, somewhere near their last 7 or 8 shots at least. Yeah, they went hot. 3 for 3. I know we weren't on the air quite right in the first couple possessions, but they didn't seem like they were going to miss. They seemed like they came out through the first big blow, and then they were able to, especially without Morez Johnson on the floor, who again has 2 fouls.
And Johnson did not score. Layton Somerville, meanwhile, had 6. Again, Gavin, that's the matchup that so many people came to see or to hear about on Clutch here on this beautiful Monday night from Ottawa. Great weather outside. It's warming up. It's getting to be March, Gavin. It's the end of the year. We have lots of other games going on tonight. We also have a crew down in Normal broadcasting 2 games tonight. Hayworth and Chicago Hope Academy, followed by Normal Community and Downers Grove North. We'll keep updated on those 2 games as we get them.
Certainly. Joey Wright and Larry Larson. How about the co-founders getting after it? And they're able to get together again and call a couple of great ball games down there. So Central Illinois still representing strong. Nobody in 2A, but hey, 3 out of 4 classes possibly going to the state Final Four ain't half bad.
Teams left from our area, Richwoods Community and Illini Bluffs. They're playing later tonight. Or I should say they have weight that he's had, 240-pound frame, and he's got 3 ball on the way. That one's finally good. It's LaShawn Scott of Thornton to tie it up.
Yeah, it's a big start there for Thornton. You know, they
Etherly, another senior for this Richwoods team that can really eat up some big minutes, Gavin. You know, Richwoods they could probably go about 8, 9, maybe, and sometimes maybe more deeper than Thornton is. Thornton only plays about 7 players on a regular basis.
Yeah, you know, it's one of certain players, though, come into this one that have been a part of the last couple games. Of note that
before the game, they got to make their free throws. They have made some clutch ones, but they've also missed some ones, which was down the stretch. You don't want to miss too many in this one.
Yeah, they left 7 at the line against Metamora, which, you know, against a team like that, it easily could have cost them, John, so they don't want to repeat that effort tonight.
Here's Jackson feeding Somerville. Spins into the paint. No Johnson on the court, but Somerville traveled. He did take 2 steps. Another shrug given by Somerville. He always tries to plead his case, but to no avail there. It's Thornton basketball. 6:40 to go here from Ottawa. LaShawn Scott with Johnson to the rack, up and in.
Thornton really starting to pick it up now. Again, they had a rough end to that first quarter, but again, there's a 32 minutes in this ball game. You got to play every single one of them.
Back on the other side, Richwoods ball. Little dials up a 3 from the wing. Barely drew the front iron. Almost blocked Scott, but he's somehow
keeping themselves fired up. They are emphatic on every single play. They've got so much poured into this. Nothing to say at fourth all night.
And it certainly will be. Again, glad you're with us on Clutch Sports IL. Not the best, here's a pack expect, but glad you're with us here listening live and for free. 15-11 to Thornton, and how about that layup there from Scott? And Somerville was running up on him almost like he was a lion, tracking down his prey. And
that's great kind of pump fake double clutch action that kind of gets players off their feet and able to
leads 15-14. Richwoods had a 7-0 run to end the first half. Here's Wildcats working it around with LaShawn. Scott is Thornton's biggest player on the floor with Soul on one of the first plays of the game, and Etherly, he is. Again. Welcome back here from Ottawa. We believe we found a solution, folks. Again, apologize for the somewhat subpar internet that first half. We know we were cutting out a little bit. Very packed gym. It sold out in here. It was sold out even before tip-off, I believe. They had to buy tickets ahead of time. No tickets were being sold at the door, and everyone is packed in here for some great basketball. Richards and Thornton tied up 24 at the half. Tell your friends and family and whoever else may be listening or who would be interested in listening that we are back and rocking on ClutchSportsIL.com. Thank you for sticking with us. Glad you are spending your Monday night. It's a great night in IHSA basketball. Jonathan Michael here with you of Clutch. Gavin. Welcome back, folks, again. Here at Ottawa, again, we share your frustrations. I see you, a lot of people in the chat, obviously a little unhappy right now. Again, we're trying to work things out. Cell signal has not been great. There has been school Wi-Fi, which we connected to. The school Wi-Fi, when we're on it, has been good, but it randomly drops out on us, so that's been an issue. We're hoping if we can stay on it, it will hold up very well, but again, it just kicks us off for a couple minutes or so. We are trying our best. We have tried our phone hotspots, we've tried our Verizon hotspot, and again, it all to spotty success. So we're hoping that we're sticking here for now, and hoping that this will hold up for the rest of this one. Again, haven't really seen many like this, but again, we haven't seen many environments like this as well. Again, very packed gym, and that's just what happens when you have lots of people in the gym. But for right now, it looks like we're okay. Not going to count my chickens just yet, but welcome back, folks. Back to Ottawa. Again, as we said, school Wi-Fi did what we expected. Kicked us out. Back in the hotspot now. Hopefully you can hear us somewhat. Again, halftime here between Richwoods and Thornton here from Kingman Gym in Ottawa. Jonathan Michael and Gavin Russell here. We're doing the best we possibly can to give you coverage for free live audio here. Super-Sectional round. Gavin, we talked about some good games coming up later tonight. Normal Community, Downers Grove North. That's a big one. You can listen to that also on ClutchSportsIL.com down at SEFQ Arena. That game being played, Class 4A Super-Sectional, and also Illini Bluffs again. They're playing Class 1A Super down in Jacksonville. No live coverage there, but going to be a good one down there. We'll try and get you some scores, Gavin, but any quick takeaways, quick keys for that first half?
Yeah, it was obviously kind of a hodgepodge in the first half, and Morez Johnson's 2 fouls, of course, the biggest note. Maybe not the game we kind of expected to see so far from Somerville and Johnson, respectively, kind of that going toe-to-toe sort of thing. But otherwise, I think that it's kind of a new ball game, fresh start in the second half for both sides. Richwoods has got to make their free throws. They missed way too many in that first half, probably missed 7 to 8 at least. And sometimes Richwoods just went cold. If you're Thornton, you can't afford to turn the ball over too much. They did that a few times, and they also got rushed a little bit. So kind of cleaning up those little things, keeping the details, and keeping your composure, that's going to be big here for the final 16.
Certainly. Quick score update from Illini Bluffs. They trail by 5 in the third quarter. We'll try and get a score update from Normal. Again, that game tipped off at 7:30, so that one's still in the early stages. It's Thornton basketball. Ball is tipped away, though, by Daquan Little. He's got an opportunity in transition. Wild layup is no good. Brought back by Morez Johnson. He's back into the game with 2 fouls. They go up top. The lob was blocked away by Jackson. Somerville goes the other way. Pops and stops near half court. Gives over to Tavy Smith. They'll calm things down. Both head coaches, William Smith and Ty Streets, listening in or watching intently. Ty Streets very animated. Great coach, though, for Thornton. Won his first sectional with the Wildcats back on Friday. Again, Gavin, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they've had some really good years. They just have ran into some really good teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, they certainly have. And go back to the COVID year, they were outstanding. They just didn't get to continue because the season was canceled abruptly.
I think they were somewhat to the tune of 33-1 or so that year. Somerville a shot over Johnson and got it to go. I think Somerville has had the advantage on the Battle of the Bigs tonight. He's got 13. Johnson still has yet to find the scorebook.
Best way I can describe that right there, that was Dirk Nowitzki taking that turnaround shot.
That did look a little Dirk-esque, a little fadeaway over the outstretched arm of the 6'9 Johnson. Blocked away there by Somerville. That was a shot by Chase Abraham, and Somerville got a tip on it. Here's Jackson, back over to Marlon Heron. Heron over to Tavy Smith. Richwoods now shooting in front of their own student section, same with Harvey Thornton's. Here's Smith, guarded by Mayo Swain. He dials up a 3-ball off the back iron. And the ball goes out of bounds into the corner. And it will be Richwoods' ball. It grazed the side of the Wildcat before it went out.
Yeah, and I think Ty Streets is saying you just grab the ball. Just grab the basketball right there as it kind of knocked off.
And it's still Richwoods' ball. Somerville driving in on Johnson. Shot, and no, he traveled with it. Took a couple too many steps trying to work in on Morez Johnson, and Richwoods fans voice their displeasure.
Again, a tough call to make for the official. You know, it's one of those that every play you could call a foul, you know, if you really looked for it. So, again, not a lot of contact there. Probably a good call by the official.
Here's Thornton ball. Johnson, the jumper near the elbows, no good. Rebounded by Isaiah Green. 3-ball on the way from Chase Abraham is off the mark. Jackson tried to keep it alive. And it will be a Richwoods ball. He did get it off of Abraham. Nice play there by Jared Jackson.
Jared Jackson flies around the court unlike most others. Definitely been, again, just that glue guy for Richwoods these last couple of years, and very much the unsung hero.
Here is the Richwoods. It's their ball, leading by 2. Chance of let's go Richwoods. Starting to echo between these hollowed walls. Here's Somerville working again on Johnson. Who wins this time? It's Somerville.
And I think this is a product of Morez Johnson just playing a little more conservatively. You know, he's a great player on the interior defensively, but he just can't play as much with the 2 fouls.
3 balls off the mark by Thornton. Richwoods starting to get in control a little bit, Gavin. Big key for here is not to play too fast, just stay in control. And here's Somerville, shot from the elbow is good. Gavin, we talked before this game, when there's something to be won, when there's a plaque on the line, Richwoods loves their third quarters.
The third quarter has been the bread and butter for the Knights, and they're getting it going now.
Thornton working in on Somerville, trying to draw the charge and did it. Somerville, or rather Johnson, got his first bucket to go, and we'll get a timeout called by the Thornton sideline. 4:29 to go, and Wildcats trail by 4.
And Lathan Somerville kind of hit the deck. Referee saying that there is a bit of embellishment, kind of gives the hand motion there. And again, it's one of those things, there is some contact, but the officials definitely letting them play for sure. But hey, I'm glad we're back, John. It looks like, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like our internet is somehow rebounded a little bit. Let me find some wood to knock on a little bit. And you know,
no kidding.
Hey, we've got great basketball though, and you know
that is certainly true. The great basketball has made up for it, and again, appreciate you all tuning in. The internet is stabilizing a bit. We know it's not perfect, but it is looking better for the moment. So tell your friends and family to get to clutchsportsil.com for free live audio coverage. This one is turning into a classic. Super-sectional basketball with a trip to state on the line. Winner of this game will face the winner of Crystal Lake South, and as they take on DePaul College Prep, a team that went to state in 2A last year. Now up in 3A, 3-ball from Little in the corner, got it to go!
DeQuan Little right there, and he's fired up. Richwoods loves this third quarter, don't they, John?
They had a 15-3 advantage over Morton in the third quarter back in the regional title game. Shots off the mark, Johnson missed the second, and Somerville gets the board. Knights now lead by 7, just a bit halfway past the halfway mark of this third quarter. Knights had a really good third quarter against Metamora as well. They took a 10-point lead and extended it to their largest lead of the game, which was 16 or 17. Somerville's 3 is good! This gym is rocking the Knights lead by 10!
Wow, Lathan Somerville, a huge shot for the Knights, 10-point lead.
Somerville's got 16. The response is there from Mayo Swansea. They're going back to back. Thornton cuts it to 7. Big shot there. Shot there by the Knights is no good. Rebounded by Thornton. Nearly tossed away, but it's Green in the corner. Back to Swansea. He's guarded by DeQuan Little. Nearing 3 minutes to play here. Wildcats need to get some momentum back. Swansea on the drive. Drives in on Somerville. Shot off the glass. No good. Keeps it alive. Falls out of bounds. Keeps it inbounds to LaShawn Scott. It's still Thornton ball. 3-ball there from Scott is no good. Rebounded by Tavy Smith.
And Will Smith tells him to slow down, slow the pace with just under 3 minutes to go here in the third.
As we are scorebook updated, it's the third quarter, in fact, not halftime anymore. 2.5 minutes to play, and it's been Richwoods' advantage. Heron's jumper, that one falls! A deep 2 from Heron, almost a 3.
It's like in Richwoods has been impossible for them to miss here in the last 5 possessions. Everything going in for the Knights.
If you're a Knights fan, tell your friends and family to get to CSM. Knights are coming alive. Their fans are on their feet. This play's getting loud. It's blocked by Somerville. That was a 3 attempt by Chase Abraham, but they fouled him. Somerville got called for the whistle. He can't believe it. That's just his first foul of the day. This place would have just gone crazy if there was no foul call. It could have led to a transition opportunity there for the Knights.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate for Somerville. I think his big frame and a bunch of momentum just carried him into the foul shooter.
It will be Abraham to shoot 2. Somerville has got 1 big block tonight, and it could have been more. First free throw, good from Abraham. Good response from Thornton, Gavin. After that 3 ball, or that deep 2 from Heron, plus that 3 from Little. They've cut it down to 8 with 2:07 to go here in the third, although this one far from over. Anything can happen in the fourth. Abraham's shot rimmed out, but it looks like we might have...
I believe it's 3 shots. They were just telling them they were... Johnson and Somerville are boxing each other out on the second of 3, so just got a little practice then there on the box out, but that second free throw was no good.
So Abraham will go again. He's got 8 points tonight. Now make it 9. Goes 2 for 3 at the stripe. And Morez Johnson, just 2 points for the Wildcats. In case you're just tuning in, he's been dealing with some foul trouble. Didn't play it all the second quarter. 3 ball, Smith in the corner. Hits the front iron. Rebounded by Johnson. Back up to Isaiah Green. Euro stepping, blocked by Jackson. What a swat. And Tavy Smith stepped out of bounds trying to keep it inbounds, but that was because Jackson sent that one right almost into the Thornton bench.
He spiked that one down hard, right onto the logo of the Ottawa Pirate.
Like he was playing volleyball, getting a big kill at the net. 3 ball on the way, Swansea, no good. Morez Johnson the board, bounces off of Somerville, and they got Somerville for a foul. That's gonna be his second. So now both big men with 2 fouls.
I believe they actually got Tavy Smith on the foul. It was not Somerville doing anything there. Tavy Smith just came in and smacked Morez Johnson's arm pretty hard. Even in this loud gym, I think you can hear that one.
Nearly turned over. It is turned over there by Thornton. And it'll be Smith to bring it up. 1.5 minutes to play. Richwoods, like they've done so often and playing well in this third quarter. Jacksonville blocked by Morez Johnson, but Somerville's there to clean it up. Knights lead by 9.
Morez Johnson has only 2 points in this one. Lathan Somerville has really gotten it going. He's been in all those little places. He's been able to make shots from outside just the painted area. I mean, he is having one of the best games of the season for the fella heading to Rutgers.
He's averaging 26 in his last 3 games. He's got 24, and we're not even through 3 quarters. Under a minute to play here from Kingman Gym. Trip to state on the line, but you got to finish. Who's going to finish harder? Richwoods, number 8 team in the state, or the top-ranked team, Harvey Thornton. And kick it over. It's Isaiah Green with it now. They feed Thornton or Johnson in the high post. Shot over Somerville off the glass and into the arms of Tavy Smith.
I think Morez Johnson just a little frustrated. You know, he just hasn't been able to find a rhythm, was out a really long time with all those fouls. So definitely frustration for their big fella.
And it's tough to get in a rhythm when you only play a couple minutes, and then I think he played about 3 or 4, and then he got subbed out because of those 2 early fouls. Credit Lathan Somerville for putting Johnson on the bench. Here's Smith back over. Somerville's top of the key, guarded by Johnson. Somerville, a top 5 player in the state, but Johnson is the top-ranked player according to 24/7 Sports. Somerville feels like he's underrated, but not so tonight. Somerville's 3, or I should say turnaround from the high post, is no good. He's frustrated, but Richwoods can't be frustrated one bit with that third quarter by 9, heading into the final 8 minutes, Gavin Russell.
Oh boy, it was a tie ball game at the half, and just like our internet connectivity, what a storm back from the Richwoods Knights. Coming alive, and getting a 9-point advantage there in that third quarter. Now, again, remember kind of the trend we've seen out of Richwoods, having great third quarters. Things start to slip away typically for them in the fourth, but recently they've dug their heels in really well. They've been in this situation 3 straight games. Morton, Kankakee, and Metamora. What do all 3 of those teams have in common? State-ranked opponents. They've given up some leads. Sure, you don't want to do that, but at the same time, they found ways to, even when the momentum shifts the other side, to keep getting buckets. And Will Smith told me after the last game, it's not about being the hero, shooting the 3, doing something like that. It's about keeping your flow going, not getting stuck on one number. Just get some points, and that's exactly what Richwoods done over the last 3 games. So even if Thornton makes a run at it, I have faith Richwoods may be able to dig their heels in and stay where they're at, keep their lead going forward.
I certainly think so as well. I've seen Richwoods a couple of times this postseason and throughout the season as well. And yeah, Metamora made a charge. They cut it to 3 in the fourth quarter, but the Knights eked it out down the stretch, made some big buckets when they needed to. And they're 8 minutes away from Champaign. It'll be Knights ball to start here in this fourth quarter. Gavin, we both mentioned the winner of this game could be the state title favorite. And Richwoods has certainly earned their way a win over 3 ranked teams. Somerville's 3 is off the mark. Here's Isaiah Green at the board, and over to Johnson, driving in the paint, turns around, shot is up and good. Nice shot there from Morez. He's got 4 of Thornton's 33.
They need him to get going if they want to have a chance. And again, Richwoods no stranger to having some pushback even when they do have a lead. So again, we're really early into this fourth quarter, but these first few possessions are going to be crucial for both sides.
If Richwoods can start that third start the fourth anyway like they started their third, they'd be sitting pretty good. Obviously, it's not over till the fat lady sings, but they use that big third quarter to go from a tie ball game to a head by 7. Here's Marlon Heron with it. Richwoods 5 on the floor is Somerville, Smith, Heron, Jackson, and Little. Somerville driving in, falls to the ground. He traveled. Johnson tried to draw the charge. Somerville wanted a block, but he ended up just falling on his rear end with the ball, and that's a travel.
Yeah, I think both players were just wanting the foul so much that it ended up just being that travel. You know, again, I think you gotta stay upright, play through any contact. Don't be looking for the foul at this point in the game. You need to just keep your flow going, keep putting shots up, and keep points going on the board.
We had a little bit of perspiration timeout. Shout out Isaiah Green on Thornton, wiping up some sweat on the floor. And listen to this crowd. It is deafening here in Kingman. This is an absolute classic environment. A classic Monday in playoff basketball. Shot from the free throw line is good by Mayo Swansea. And Thornton's cut it to 5. Jackson got fouled from behind. A little bit of a press there from the Wildcats. That was Chase Abraham on the defense, and he fouled him.
Yeah, that's a big break there for Richwoods. Almost turned over by Jared Jackson. And again, here's this push from Thornton. You know, they're on a 4-0 run to start this fourth quarter. So what are they going to respond with Marlon Heron back into the game and still dribble the ball up?
Heron's played some big minutes. Again, Nick Louderman, the starter, out. Hurt his ankle earlier in the game. Shot on the way is no good from the corner. That was a little 3 ball. It will go back to Thornton off the hand of a Knight. So, again, Thornton obviously not going to go down easily, Gavin. They're the number 1 team, or number 1 ranked team in the state, at least in the AP poll, as the pollsters thought for a reason. Thornton's a team that came into the year number 3 in the AP state rankings, and have never gone down. It's just been a continuous upward trend for them this year.
Really has, and you know, you look at it week by week. They started 3rd for a couple weeks, 2nd for a couple weeks, and ever since it's been 1st. You know, Richwoods kind of started high, dipped off for a little bit. We're receiving votes all year, though, and then you see they've started playing their best ball as of late. 9th, then 8th is where they finished in the final poll. So, again, both teams playing their best ball at the best time.
Thornton's had some big wins over Central Illinois teams such as Normal Community, Richwoods, and Metamora. Green driving into the high post, kicks it out. Johnson shot fakes it 3, now drives in and gets the layup to go. That was Jared Jackson. We're trying to draw a charge, but didn't. And just like that, Thornton's cut it to 3, and now they bring up the press.
If you're Richwoods, you can't crumble in this situation.
Smith feeds it up Little. 3 ball in the corner is too strong. Jackson elevates for the board. Had it momentarily. Comes out of a scrum with it. Near the baseline, kicks out. Little thought about a 3, but decided otherwise. Under 6 minutes to play here from Ottawa.
And that's exactly what Will Smith's talking about. He didn't elect to take that second 3, look for a better shot, just try to get 2 on the board here.
Here's Tavy Smith. He handles it now. 3 ball from the wing. Got it to go while falling down. Tavy Smith, you can't be serious. Timeout taken by Thornton.
Wow, big shot by Tavy Smith. And yeah, excuse me, you don't need 2 when you can get 3. How about that, Tavy Smith? What a shot. He was guarded. That was at least a good 3 feet back from the 3-point line. Wow. I don't need to talk anymore, I guess. Wow.
Gavin, you talked about, not wanting to be the hero, not trying to play hero ball that much. When that 3 went up from Smith, it was kind of like, oh boy, do you want to shoot that with a defender in your face? He got it to go. Obviously, the contact was after the shot, so no foul was called. I think maybe Smith tried to sell it just a little bit, but that's an amazing shot from your senior and with the biggest game of his life so far.
Absolutely, and again, I think the point still stands. DeQuan Little could have shot a second straight 3 after the offensive rebound. He opted not to, and it led to that shot. So sometimes just being patient, taking a few more seconds off the clock, that can make all of the difference. And right there, as we see for Richwoods, it ended in a big 3-pointer to end a dry spell. That's their first bucket of the 4th quarter and one they needed desperately.
A little bit of a pro Richwoods crowd. Lots of purple here tonight, but cheerleaders doing a bit of a backflip competition on the court here during the timeout. And the Richwoods cheerleaders got a lot more cheers than the Thornton ones did. Let's just say that. You probably heard that in the background. 5:36 to go. It's Thornton basketball trailing by 6 after the big 3 from Tavy Smith. One of 9 Richwoods seniors. Thornton on the drive. It's Johnson. Goes up a second chance. It's up and good. Morez Johnson the response.
And very dangerous thing, it appears to me that Morez Johnson's starting to lock in.
He starts to have that look in his eye now. Cross-court pass to Smith was fought for on the deck. It's Thornton coming away with it, and Green driving in on Jackson. Can't get it to go. Green fought for the board. He goes out of bounds, and it's Richwoods' ball. Wildcats sideline screaming for a foul. They thought that Jackson pushed him out.
And there was some contact there, John. I'm not going to say there may not have been a bit of a bump, but Jared Jackson on the rebound also had his arm smacked too. So like I said, I think it's something going on that both teams are getting physical to the point where the referees are not going to call everything.
No, they're certainly not. Again, I think they know that these are obviously 2 very highly skilled teams, 2 very physical teams, and you got to call the foul when it's obvious. But I think, those borderline calls probably not going to be called here in this 4th quarter. This is big boy basketball. I mean, this is the Super-Sectionals, Class 3A, America's original March Madness. They're not going to just be calling every little thing.
No. We're not here for hand check fouls and little things like that. You can't breathe on the guy and expect the foul. It's going to take a real crime at this point.
Jackson inbound, Thornton bringing the press, and there is a 5-second call. Richwoods turns it over. Jackson got it in, but in about 5.2 seconds, he needed to get out in under 5.
He didn't have anywhere to go with it. It would have been a turnover either way till Somerville came up, and he was guarded well by Johnson. So, like we kind of mentioned, it's going to be a push. It's going to be a close one down the stretch here.
Thornton inbounds. Abraham thought about a 3. He's guarded tightly by Little. Now it's Johnson in the post. Backing in on Somerville, trying to go some dribble moves. Gets it up and in. Morez Johnson has officially locked in. 4:51 to go, and it's a 2-point game.
Don't let Morez get hot.
We're going to get an official's timeout here as the referee talks to Jared Jackson. Ty Streets, the Harvey Thornton head coach, screaming to the referee. We have some Ottawa personnel just make sure that everyone is all good there on the sideline. Make sure that no one's jumping out of their seat too much. Again, fans not far from the court. They can probably reach out and touch it if they wanted to. Somerville's got it for Richwoods. He'll drive in on the right side. Johnson falls down, and Somerville gets it to go.
Again, gotta stay on your feet. Morez Johnson trying to sell the call, not gonna get it there. Somerville was spinning around.
We've seen both bigs trying to draw some charges tonight, and not many have been whistled, if any at all. 4:18 to go. Thornton basketball. Green three from the wing is too long. Tavy Smith jumps up and gets the board, but there's a foul before. That will be Richwoods' first of the fourth quarter.
And again, a good call. Somerville got out of position, so Tavy Smith trying to grab the board. He pulled down on the right shoulder of Morez Johnson, and of course a clear loose ball foul.
Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsL.com. Tell everybody you know to tune in for the finish. 4:10 to go, and it's Richwoods by 4. And the biggest game of their careers so far. A magical postseason run continues to Ottawa. They still have work to do. Is a three ball from Abraham, rims out.
That was about to be a big shot there from Thornton and just rimming away. This is a big possession for Richwoods. If they can get a bucket here, really put some pressure on under halfway home here in the fourth.
Is Heron with it, trying to slow some things down. He got to stay composed, which I think is, you guys sit up here in the booth, but it's probably impossible. You're down on the court. Heron kicks it out to Somerville, driving it on, and then speed to Heron for the layup. Great find by Somerville, and there was a foul as well. Marlon Heron.
How about the junior, man? Talk so much about these seniors, and they've done their part tonight. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if anybody on their bingo card was Marlon Heron and coming and playing some of the biggest defense and some of the biggest buckets of the game for Richwoods. I mean, Marlon Heron really been on a different level. He's got 6, can't make the free throw, but 6 big points for the Knights.
Again, those free throws, Gavin, a couple left at the line early in the first half. So Richwoods' lead could have been bigger, but it's still enough to lead by 2 possessions. Here's Thornton with it. It's Green just a little bit to the bottom left of the red O at half court here in Kingman Gymnasium. Nearly 100 years of history, and this one's another chapter. Johnson drives in. Somerville trying to draw the charge. It's a blocking call. Neither big is getting a charge call at all tonight, Gavin. I think if I had to give him one word of advice, it's to try and stop drawing them because you're not getting those whistles.
100% agree. It's both ways. I think at this point, in order for it to be a charge, it's going to have to be clear and obvious. Sometimes you hear about that with professional sports, with reviews and things, official reviews, clear and obvious. None of them have been clear and obvious. They've either been minimal contact, maybe a little bit of movement side to side, and looked like Somerville maybe was falling backwards just a little bit early there. Again, you got to play straight up. No reason to try and draw too many fouls here in the late minutes.
Another perspiration timeout again. We've had a couple of those with both Morez Johnson and Lathan Somerville hitting the deck again. It's been all Somerville in this one. He's got 24. Morez Johnson's got 6. Has an opportunity to make it 8 at the line. His first is up and good. Again, Johnson sat the entire second quarter, in case you're just tuning in, with 2 fouls that he had in the first 4 minutes of this one. So he spent about 12 minutes or so on the bench. But he's coming up big here in this fourth quarter. Sets for his second one, and it's up and good. It's a 4-point ball game with 3:03 to play.
Did we really think Morez Johnson wasn't going to get his own at some point?
Tavy Smith, cross court, up to Somerville, across the timeline. Somerville, Euro step to the lane. Oh my word, he got it to go! While falling down, Somerville gets points 25 and 26, and it could be 27 at the line.
He's a special player, man. He was halfway on the ground almost. I mean, if we were playing football, his knee probably was down by contact and still got a chance to throw it up, as he was falling away, kind of got tripped. What a play from Lathan Somerville. I mean, he's, again, just having one of the best games of his probably high school career.
His free throw is nothing but net. It's Richwoods by 7 with under 3 to play. It really helps having a Lathan Somerville on your team in big games like these. Gavin, he's been a huge reason why they've been able to make it this far. Triple teamed is Morez Johnson, kicks it over. Here's Abraham, his 3 ball rattles home. We still got a ball game in Ottawa, a 4-point game with 2:39 left. Chase Abraham has been making some big shots for the top-ranked Wildcats.
The Wildcats continue to hang around, and I think it goes back to something, again, we didn't talk a lot about at the outset due to our Wi-Fi issues, but both of these teams have been in a number of big games this year. I mean, you look at the games that Thornton has lost, they've all been margins of 1 or 2 points. You know, their largest margin of loss has been 2 points. Homewood Flossmoor, again, one of the best teams in Class 4A. They played a couple teams out of state, and same with Richwoods. They played top-tier talent that has prepared them for this exact moment. They may not exactly like that outcome 2 months ago, but that doesn't matter. How did they learn from that experience to bring to right now? And we see the product of it.
That's a fantastic point, Kevin. The reason you play those games is to see yourself in games like tonight. What did you learn earlier in the season? Richwood, some big wins this year. 2 over Manual, 1 over Chicago. Phillips still alive in Class 2A. College achieved charter from New Jersey. They went out to a Rutgers tournament because of Lathan Somerville to play out there. They beat another team from New Jersey, Camden East Side. 2 great teams from Missouri, Lee's Summit West and Chaminade College Prep, getting wins over all of those teams. Again, Knights trying to get some revenge after a 2-point defeat to Thornton earlier in the year. Heron nearly traveling near half court, but now Tavy Smith crosses the timeline, 2.5 to play. Any bucket is going to elicit a deafening reaction. It's Heron in the corner right now for the Knights, in their green uniforms with white numbers, white stripes down the shorts and jerseys. Now it's back to Smith, top of the key, behind the arc, nearly is taken away. It will say Richwoods ball here with 2:13 to go.
If I'm Richwoods, you know, I'm not a fan of just holding the ball exclusively, but I'm not necessarily in a massive hurry. I'm going to be very patient with whatever shot you can get here. Again, 2:13 left to go. A lot of possession still to go on both sides, but got to be patient. No point in rushing any shot.
It will be Jackson inbound in front of the Knights bench. He finds Smith in the corner. Tried to get it to Somerville, but it was tipped by Morez Johnson. Big defensive play. Now here come the Wildcats. It's Abraham with it. Gets a screen. Finds in the corner. Malik Horton, his 3 ball is no good. Offensive board into the hands of Morez Johnson. His shot is no good. Thornton clamoring for a foul. They don't get it. We're going to get a tie-up, and that favors Thornton. But the Wildcats really wanted a foul there. They thought that Johnson got hacked. And again, this is big boy basketball. It's going to take a really hard foul to hear a whistle called.
Nothing easy here. No cheap fouls. That's why I like it.
Under 2 to play. Here's Abraham, guarded by Little. Johnson's going to set the screen. Abraham goes around it. Little nice job of following. Blocked away by Jared Jackson. Abraham went flying up in the air, and Jackson blocked it. Heron finds Somerville cutting into the paint. His layup's good! And a foul as well. How many times has Richwoods come up with big and one buckets in this 4th quarter, and that one, the biggest one yet from Somerville. He's got 29 and it could be 30.
I've run out of adjectives. I've run out of comparisons. I apologize we can't bring it to you to watch live, but all I got to say is he's something special, folks. He's got 30 points as he makes that and one free throw and a timeout. Wow.
Well, Gavin, I have a pretty good adjective to describe him. What could be him not too long, Mr. Basketball.
And as I mentioned early on, not sure if they heard it. I'm sure it might have been a little choppy, but he would be the first Peoria Mr. Basketball since Sean Livingston, which has got to be a familiar name to many. Yet Peoria High School grad Sean Livingston didn't go to college, went right to the NBA. A champion with the Golden State Warriors, played a long professional career. Other Peoria area Mr. Basketball winners include that of Sergio McLean, Howard Nathan. So he would be the first in about 20 years to win that award, which would be something impressive, especially when you've got a guy like Morez Johnson in that race also.
Certainly, Lathan Somerville, this obviously everyone knows already what he's done. He's going to be revered for a long time, maybe forever. This game may be the one that puts him into the history books, the coffee books, you name it. Front page of the newspaper and on clutchsportsil.com/overtime. Here's Thornton with the ball, 1:24 to go. They need a bucket, otherwise they're going to have to start fouling. Here's Abraham finding Holtland off the bench. A deep 3 from Abraham is up and good! 1:13 to go. Thornton still got some life, and it's Chase Abraham keeping their heartbeat still there. Wow, what a game.
Right there. That was deep, too. I mean, that was way out there. That was a college three.
For Abraham, one he won't forget, but his team still has work to do. It's a full timeout taken. I believe that was Thornton that took it. They have one left, and Richwoods has two. I believe that timeout was taken actually by William Smith, 14th year head coach for the Knights. Well, no, it was taken by Thornton, pardon there, but Will Smith, I mean, what a win this would be. I mean, again, he's been at Richwoods for a long time, coached some good teams, but none as special as this one.
No, and, you know, Will Smith's always done a great job. You know, he's a veteran head coach. He's been around the area. He's been around the block. But, you know, all those years throughout the 2010s, you know, you look at Peoria High, you know, they were one of the best in the state there for a few years. Manual has always been great. You know, they may have just been boxed out a few years, just not able to quite get to the top of the mountain, but this is Richwoods' time to put their mark on Peoria area basketball, etch their name in the record books in one of the most competitive years to date for Richwoods.
1:12 to go in the fourth quarter. They inbound it past the Thornton press. It's Tavy Smith. He got fouled hard from behind by Morez Johnson. That's the fifth on the Wildcats, so that will be free throws for the Knights. And Gavin, this is where you have to make them.
If you make them, and this is Harvey Thornton's game plan, is to continually foul you at this point, you can win the game just by making these free throws. If you miss them, then it's going to become very, very difficult. You risk maybe turning the ball over, so there's a lot of hypothetical scenarios, but you can avoid all of it by making the free ones.
Knights have struggled a bit tonight. They went 16 for 23 in the sectional title game from the line against Metamora. Here's Tavy Smith shooting in front of a friendly Richwoods crowd. His first one off the back iron. Richwoods continues to have free throws be their Achilles heel.
They have missed a lot tonight, and if they would have made even half of the ones they missed, this one might be a little far out of reach for Thornton.
Here's Tavy Smith. He's got 5 points tonight, makes the second.
That's a big one.
That is a big one. 5-point game. What does Thornton have in store? They roll it up. Here's Green across the timeline. 1:06 to go. Finds Abraham. You got to put a body on him if you're Richwoods. He's been lethal from behind the arc. Now it's Isaiah Green. Kicks it back out. Mayo Swansea for three. That one's good! How about Harvey Thornton? It's a 2-point game. Richwoods inbounds to Somerville. Under a minute to play. Somerville finds Jackson. Tipped, but back in the hands of Jackson. Nearly a turnover. Heron drives in. Blocked by Morez Johnson. Thornton ball. They cross the timeline. Here's Abraham. His layup blocked by Jared Jackson. Out of bounds. It's Knights basketball. Oh my Lord, Gavin.
What did I just see? Oh my goodness, Marlon Heron had it blocked on one end. Jared Jackson hung in the air. I mean, he was like levitating, John, and he able to strip it out, win off a player from Harvey Thornton's foot. 36 seconds. I mean, everybody's on their feet. Strap in.
Thousands on their feet here. It'll be Ethelene to inbound, and we're going to get an officials timeout again. And a cheerleader from Thornton has been ejected.
No, I don't know about ejected. I think they're just
pushing her out of the way. Push her out of the way.
They are right up on the back of the official.
They're right up.
Perhaps saying some things in his ear, prohibiting from him doing his job.
Yeah, no, not ejected. Pardon there. That pass though is tipped. It's Thornton. They got a turnover, and we're gonna have a whistle. A travel. Thornton had a golden opportunity, and they fumbled it away. They traveled with 30.6 seconds to go. Nothing's coming easy. William Smith is livid. Wants a timeout. Richwoods needs to calm down a bit. I don't know how you can do that in this environment, Kevin, but my word. Two big chances from the Wildcats. First the block from Jackson. Then they get the steal on the inbound, and it was a travel, I believe maybe, was it Abraham? I'm not sure who it was. So many bodies all in the same place.
They are just kind of flying up and down the floor at an exponential pace, John. It's really hard to describe. We're doing our best to do that, but certainly it's just been some little mistakes here and there, playing a little bit too fast. It's a 2-point ball game, so it's really still up for grabs. And again, at this point, there's so much that can happen in this next 30.6. I don't even want to speculate. At this point, Richwoods has to take care of the basketball. There's no other question that. If they get to the free throw line, they have to make them both. There's no other question. You got to put the pass behind you, and you got to make them now.
You got to have short-term memory. That's the thing. It doesn't matter if you miss them. You're still in the lead. Doesn't matter you missed those earlier. What matters is making them now. If Richwoods can do that, they can win this game. 30.6 seconds to go. It's Richwoods to inbound in front of the Thornton fan section behind the basket. It's Jackson inbound and Johnson, the top-ranked player in the entire state, to guard it. 6'9". They inbounded to Somerville. Goes cross court, took it away by Isaiah Green. Now it's Johnson driving into the paint. Ringing a travel call. Johnson fell to the floor. He is screaming in frustration. Thornton has fumbled away 3 chances to tie the game, but there's still 24.2 seconds left to go.
He just continues to lose his balance, and
He'll get an escort out by the local law enforcement. Props to them for doing their job. 24.2 to go. They inbound it back to Somerville. Same play. He's double teamed. There we get a jump ball. Heron at the line for Richwoods with a chance to make it a 2-possession game with 13.6. He's missed some free throws tonight, Gavin. Not the high would need a 3 to tie. There's 13.6 seconds left to go here from Ottawa. A trip to corner 3 ball. No good. Richwoods the board. He gets fouled. It's Little. Richwoods is going to go to state. 4-point game with 2.2 to go. Listen to this. What a gritty win this will be for the Richwoods Knights. And it might be the one that sends him to state for the first time since 2010. Little's at the line for 2. He knocks down his first. The Knights have stepped up in clutch moments like they've done time and time again. Harvey Thornton's had the number of all the top teams of Central Illinois. Second one's good from Little, but this time what a special team this Knights team is. Lathan Somerville, 30 points in the biggest game of his life. And it's a 58. And I don't even go to Richwoods.
What a night for Central Illinois, for Peoria, for the Richwoods Knights, for Lathan Somerville, Jared Jackson. Keep the list going. What a big night for Green and Black. Wow.
The Ottawa Super-Sectional, always home to one of the best in Central Illinois. And tonight, Central Illinois is the winner. William Smith riles up the student section, waving it. Just wait till they storm the floor when they give him the plaque after 14 years. And there the Knights go to celebrate with their fans. A mob of green. The Knights are going to state for the first time since 2010 and have a chance to win the first state title in school history.
Just unbelievable from Richwoods. It's been a really, really long time. You know, these players, last time that Richwoods went to state and they placed, these kids weren't even in school yet. You know, they're probably in pre-then. Like we've seen from Metamora the last couple of years, now it's Richwoods' time to shine. And Central Illinois has definitely got their back. It's just very special to watch, and they're going to take Champaign by storm next Friday.
It's been an unbelievable year in boys basketball in Central Illinois, Gavin. And there was much wondering about who